2, 1. No, 1. And
We're
then
not live yet. God damn it.
we're definitely live. I'm pointing.
Now we're live. There you go.
Oh, you got the delay. If you're watching on Twitch, there's going to be a delay, but
That's true. That's true.
the
Yeah, yeah,
voices should
yeah.
still match. Other than sometimes I have noticed like Discord's voice, like so when Garrett's talking, especially Garrett and Evan for some reason, he'll talk, but the voice the camera on Discord won't match, so therefore on Twitch it looks looks funny as well.
Oh god, that's like my least favorite thing too. Is mismatched audio video.
I have straight
Yeah,
up
no, right?
not watched TV shows because I can't do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just
absolutely.
bad dubbing.
I walked out of a movie theater once because of that. I don't remember what the fucking movie was.
I mean, I will, if that's the case, I will turn on dubbing, the subtitles, I mean,
Yeah,
Oh, that's not
and
a bad idea.
mute it and watch the subtitles as opposed to, yeah.
just read it like a graphic novel, pretty much at that
Yeah.
point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
welcome to Echo Chamber, the session in between sessions. This one was a little later in the week, but it'll just consider it a prep for this weekend. We haven't decided date-wise this weekend, but we'll be coming to you live this weekend with either another Phandalin 5 or a Mordai's Misfits, one or the other. We'll see what happens. This previous session, we decided we would go to the Dragon Lair and I don't remember what happened, but for some reason we're calling the episode Celesticals, and it still cracks me up, but I don't remember at this time why we're calling.
yeah, I don't, why,
Had to be something to
Ryan?
do with Frank, right? Has to
There
be.
was something
Yeah,
about Frank's balls, but I don't remember what it was.
yeah. Ryan said something about his celesticals.
Yeah, I have no clue,
I
but
don't
it's
remember.
it's stuck in my
It's stuff.
mind.
Yeah.
Uh, and some updates to the stats. We will talk about that later, but I'm really excited. So we'll have episode names in there as well as encounters per episode. I really like that addition. Props to Eric on that. But so in this session, we were headed into the Dragon's Lair, and I honestly wasn't sure what to be prepared for. So I mean, I try not to meta too much and dig into stuff other than what I see on YouTube. But I pretty much expected to walk in, see the horde, take the horde, go. I was not anticipating multiple battles to get through. So I'm just curious, Rusty and Eric, like in your previous encounters, have you encountered a dragon horde? And if so, is it very similar? Is it worse? Or what are your experiences, I guess? And G, please don't take any offense to this because I think it's a good thing, just to kind of prepare us and say that, you know what, it's not going to be as easy as you think.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I mean my only other encounter with a dragon was actually the was it a young green dragon, Eric, in Mordai's Misfits?
Oh no, he was black.
Black. Yeah.
Black dragon. Okay. That was my only other, real dragon horde experience. And I mean, we were kind of fighting him in his horde. So,
Mhm.
uh, I think I'm with you, Carl, where I sort of expected yeah, we're just going to go in, grab some shit and leave, go make camp and, get up tomorrow morning and, continue on. But that was,
Yeah,
yeah, not the case.
and I guess if you compare it to that, so we were already in the Dragon's Lair, as you said, so we had already
Yeah.
fought through many, many, many creatures to get to that point. So I guess it kind
Yeah.
of makes sense if we were to have run into this green dragon, comparably speaking, we would have gone through all of these and then gotten to the dragon. I guess that makes sense. But what are your experiences?
So yeah, there's a lot of times some dragons are very reclusive, but they also are very egotistical and love their minions. So I can't say I'm not totally surprised that we ran into a couple of things. So yeah, yeah.
So pretty much on point. I like it. Um, G, any spoilers that you can give us that what else we might encounter on our way to the horde? He may be mowing the grass, so we'll give him a break.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to unmute for a second. I am not going to give any spoilers other than I'm enjoying throwing some fun minions at you that you haven't seen
Yeah.
before. Some new ones are a good time. Gave me an opportunity to really stretch my wings here, throw some new stuff at you, get you guys to experience some different attacks like salamanders.
Those were cave salamanders, is that right?
They were, yep, cave
Yep, those aren't.
salamanders.
Those aren't. I don't think those are monster manual creatures, right?
I don't know. I can't remember if I picked them up from a homebrew from somebody else or if it was one of maybe it was Unearthed Arcana.
Mm.
But I definitely found it from somewhere else, and I thought this might be unique to throw at you. And I wanted to see. I didn't expect you guys to provoke them. Thought that would be interesting just to have them floating around, and sure enough, Reed did me the favor.
I mean, do you know this crew? Like, you didn't
Yeah, I was gonna
expect
say
us to
what.
provoke them? Either A, someone Grizz was going to step on them, or B, Reed was going to piss with them. Like,
Let me put it this way: I didn't know how you would provoke it, but I had a stat ready to go, and there's a reason I threw a monster in there. That they attack and they had a bit of a bite to them. So I certainly, yeah, I knew at some point you guys would provoke them. You do something with. I can't just throw some salamanders out there and you guys walk right past it and say how cute.
yeah, no, in looking at stats, and we'll look at it later, they do have a little bit of a bite. Like, it was only like, 5, 6 hit points at a time, but to multiple people, and it was like it was pretty consistent damage. So it was kind of cool. But it does bring me to my next question. And this one's more for I guess anybody can answer this one. So DM wise, Reed has a dynamic with Griswold in which they, go back and forth a little bit. How do you deal with that as a DM, or do you just sit back and enjoy it? Like, what's the thought process from a DM perspective? Because I can say from a character perspective, but I'm curious from a DM perspective, do you just kind of sit back and say, yes, make your tension grow so that I can defeat you, or what do you do?
And jump in here quickly, and I'm curious to hear the others. My take on it has been and will continue to be I find the dynamic entertaining, however you want to do it. If it grows group tension and gives me an opportunity to maybe poke at it for a storyline, great. But the number one thing that is always on my mind is this bleeding over to real life individual conflict? And let's make sure we prevent that so the group is still having a good time.
Makes sense. Anybody else?
Nah, that's ditto that. Exactly.
Yeah, and just to give a sort of fellow player perspective, as long as it stays on the table and isn't overly derailing everything, then fuck it. Yeah, let's rock and roll. It's fun.
All right, cool. I was just curious from the DM perspective, and I like the way you put that, G. Like, if I find the opportunity to bring it into the storyline, I'm going to.
Yeah,
And I feel
I
like
like that.
I feel like your notes are like, where do they fuck up? Let me bring it back up later on. It's
Yep.
gonna come to haunt
Yep.
you, right?
Yep.
All right. Honestly, guys, don't have too many questions for this session. I'm just excited for next session, as we said. So I think it's that time, Rusty. If you are ready, I think it's that
I
time.
am ready
It is time. That's right.
for magic
Magic
item
item
of
of
the
the week.
week.
All right, cut, snip it, do whatever you gotta do, get it, and then we'll put that on
Do we
replay.
do we gotta do the magic?
Magic,
Item.
magic. I kind of like that too. I don't know. Maybe we'll try that next time.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Rusty, take it over.
All right, so I've got 3 fun ones for the evening, and these are again out of my spreadsheet of magic items. Roll a couple of dice to randomize, pick a couple. So first one up is the Javelin of Lightning. So this is a magic weapon. So it's much like Griswold's Morningstar. It has a command word. So hurl it, speak its command word, and it transforms into a bolt of lightning. So someone has a Zeus fantasy, that's this is kind of their bag, right?
Yeah.
So it transforms into a bolt of lightning, forms a 5 foot wide, a line 5 feet wide that extends out from you to a target within 120 feet. Every creature in the line, excluding yourself and the target, must make a DC 13 Dex save, taking 4d6 lightning on a failed save, half as much on a successful one. The lightning bolt turns back into a javelin when it hits the target to make a ranged weapon attack against that target. So it only really leaves a sort of, it's like a tracer javelin. The tracer tail sort of does the damage. But if it hits, though, it does still do 4d6 lightning damage to the target, and that's not there's no DC save or anything like that. It just goes straight off the ranged attack. So that would be a fun one.
Yeah, that one's kind of cool. A way to like get AOE in a straight line as opposed to like a sphere or a square. You know what I mean? 120
Yeah.
feet, everything. If you could line up a bunch of small minions, just take them all out all at once.
Yeah, I'm just imagining a narrow hallway or something, you know?
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah. Good old lightning bolt.
Just don't give it to Grizz, or it may end up hurting one of us, because I don't think it said non-friendly. I think it was anything.
Yeah, there was
within that
anything.
line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
here we
offense,
go.
Chris.
Each creature in the line, excluding you and the target. Yep. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Garrett just took the note. Make sure Grizz finds this. So. Because once he gets his hands on it, he's not giving it up.
Oh, fuck no. I got to get my gloves back from him. Speaking of which.
Good luck.
Oh yeah, those notes are going down, by the way. They are definitely being taken.
What else we got, Rusty?
All right, next up we have the Periapt of Wound Closure. I have no idea if I pronounced Periapt correctly. Periapt. Someone wants to bitch at us in the Twitch chat. Rock and roll with it.
Did you say womb or wound? Because womb closure. Okay, wound. I thought you said womb closure, like WOMB, and I was like, all right, that must be a homebrew.
Yeah, we went to the S&M side of D&D, you know. So this does require attunement, unlike our javelin we just talked about. But while you wear this pendant, you stabilize whenever you are dying at the start of your turn. In addition, whenever you roll a hit die to regain hit points, double the number of hit points it restores. So for someone who goes down pretty often in combat, i.e. Siddle, myself, this would be really nifty. It's, automatic stabilization. It kind of takes death saving throws out of the equation. Unless of course you get the double your hit points damage and you're fucked. But yeah. Yeah, certainly an interesting one. Any kind of vanilla, but cool enough in its own right.
Now, just as a side note, Siddle has only gone down since we started taking notes 3 times. It feels more dangerous at this point, because if a creature's over top of you, they're going to get a multi-attack and take you out. However, if we look at it, I think Warwick has gone down 4 times as opposed to Siddle.
Has he? Okay.
And Warwick has not been with us as long.
Althea's up there too, I think. I think she's 2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah, Althea's at 2, along with you, actually.
Yeah,
you and Amrook, we're all tied at 2 there. So,
okay.
I do expect Adrin to go down a little bit more now that you're a little bit more frontline with the monk. Maybe not. But that's my expectation. We'll see how it goes. But I think really that item sounds pretty cool for anybody. It's just gonna be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's just gonna boil down to attunement slot.
Yeah. Definitely. So last one on the docket this evening, the Dust of Dryness. So this small packet contains 1d6 plus 4 pinches of dust. You can use an action to sprinkle a pinch of it over water. The dust turns into a cube of water 15 foot on a side and turns it into one marble-sized pellet, which will float or rest near where the dust was sprinkled. So, not something that just sinks after you've sprinkled it into a pond or something like that.
Yeah.
Pellet's weight is negligible. You can use an action to smash the pellet against a hard surface, causing the pellet to shatter and releases all of the water and dust that it absorbed. Doing so ends the pellet's magic. So basically, really convenient way of stashing a pretty sizable amount of water.
Yeah.
An elemental that is composed of mostly water, and this is where you can kind of weaponize this. An elemental that is composed of mostly water that is exposed to a pinch of this dust must make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw, taking 10d6 necrotic damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. So, if we were going up against a bunch of water elementals, this could be some useful stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it said it had to be crushed, you said?
You just have to smack it against something hard.
Oh, okay. All right. I
Or
can
you could
definitely
cast-
see some uses there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Suppose
kinda
you could
cool.
cast Shatter on it too, if it would be an inorganic compound.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, how could you use that against fire elementals if you had the water trapped? You know what I mean? Could you throw it at the ceiling and over top of them, something like that? I don't know how much damage that would do, if it would be worth it, but it might be kind of flavor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even thinking like have Reed pretend it's a ball bearing, chuck it at the fire elemental, fire giant, whatever, and then if I cast Shatter, or someone casts Shatter.
Yeah, or I mean, just shoot it like if someone else throws it and Reed can shoot it with an arrow.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be.
Or hell, put it in a slingshot. Someone has a
Yeah.
slingshot, right?
Yeah. He has Adrian has a sling. He used all the way back in our second session, whenever we
Yeah.
were in the cave, in which
Yeah.
they dropped the little tidbit about King Gruul. I forget the goblin's name that told us, but I remember he cast what's the three stones? You cast
Magic Stone. Yeah.
Magic Stone, yeah, and then you were able to put those stones in the sling. That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Gosh, I don't know how the hell you remember that, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Jeez.
It's a sickness. It's a disease. Don't worry about it. All right, awesome items, Rusty. I can't wait to see what you have in store next week. And I think I'll throw it out to G. Any potential uses you see for any of those? I didn't want to skip you or anything.
Oh, there we go. All good. No and yes. I like the creative thoughts you had on it here. For the Dust of Dryness is the interesting one that I like throwing out, because I can't see it being super, I won't say effective, but it certainly adds flavor and creates some interesting dynamics. And it's one of those things that at the right moment, when none of the other standard weapons work, it could be gold for you, or you could waste a turn trying to force it. So it sounds like a fun one to me.
For sure.
Yeah.
My first thought was Dust of Deliciousness. Like, it's one of
Yeah,
those
that was-
benign items that you give
You
your
never.
you give your players and never think it's going to come back to haunt you, and all of a sudden they use it in this way
Yeah.
that just you can't put down. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So I think that flavorful item is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm just thinking for general mayhem,
Yeah.
Yeah, or if we look back at our first fire encounter, really, there in Tribor, stuff like that might have come in handy to be able to put out those fires. Adrian was sitting there firefighting for the longest time, if you remember.
That's true. Yeah.
A couple of those on a couple of players might have been helpful to put those out and move on. So
He's got
all
the
right.
little. He's got the TFD FDY hat on there. Tribal Fire Department.
It's volunteer only. You don't get
It's
paid,
volunteer,
but
yeah.
you're okay.
Yeah. I got a beeper.
Oh,
on
guys,
the
guys,
side.
I know we're mid
I
battle.
gotta
I
go.
gotta go.
I gotta go.
There's a fire in Tribor. I gotta go. I'm sorry.
He puts a little blue light on his head.
Transforms into a warhorse, puts the blue light
Yeah.
on, and takes off. I like it. In fact, we do kind of have a beeper in the form of a sending stone on us right
We
now,
do.
and I'm waiting for that thing to go off as we get to
Yeah.
Neverwinter. I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
fuck. Like, can we just
Does the
make
sending stone happen out loud, or is that a telepathic silent thing?
I think it's telepathic based on touch, so whoever
Yeah.
would be carrying it.
Yeah, I think so too. I believe that's how it works.
Yeah.
So it's like a proper pager where it, sends
Mhm.
in the you get the fucking number to go find a payphone and call or whatnot.
You know, I was actually thinking about this 2 sessions ago, and I was like, Warwick's carrying that. What if it's been going off this entire time, and he's just not
Oh
telling
man.
us?
So what was the story behind that again? I am genuinely blanking. I remember having it, but I don't remember why.
For go ahead. E.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Whenever we got not cure wounds. What was it? Greater
Greater
restoration.
rest.
Greater
Yeah.
restoration from the commune there in Yortar. I guess it wasn't
Yeah.
a commune, but you get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of the curse that was put on. Was it? Yeah, it would be a curse, not a disease that was put
Mhm.
on Grizz, Adrin, and Warwick. Was it
Warwick?
Warwick?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then that was our 3 favors that we owe the.
That's right. Okay.
Clerics of. I don't remember what they're clerics of.
Yeah, I have it somewhere in my notes. It
I,
was weird, but
yeah.
they're all kind of cults. Let's be honest. Minus Gueron,
Mhm.
because he's the coolest. So.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, with that, I think it's time. I'm excited for this part, probably the most. I have been excited. I can't wait to highlight a couple things, and I'll let you guys chime in as well. But it is time for Stats Chat, Stats Chat, Stats Chat, Stats Chat. That's please don't clip that, by the way. Um,
Dude, the facial expressions are my favorite part of that.
I was really getting into. I was trying to harness my inner soul. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man.
I mean, I felt like it was like a nice blues riff to it. In my mind,
Yeah.
that's where it was going. I could hear the saxophone behind it, if that makes sense. Don't
You
you
need
play
a
the
little aid, Mike.
saxophone? I'm gonna have to get you a little
No. Trumpet.
trumpet. That's right. All right, all right. We could
Need
get
a
a little
little,
trumpet in there, a little jazz in your face, as we like to
little
say,
little E minor chord going on there.
for sure. Well, that was the end. Stats Jet.
Mhm.
Anyway, all right. Enough of that. Let's turn on the map. All right, we got stats chat. If you guys aren't watching, you can tune in Twitch to see the stats, or you can just jump into Teams, not a sponsor yet, and check out that stats tab. I'm going to start off with this past encounter. Obviously, it was nothing super crazy. We didn't kill a dragon, but Griswold did get a couple additional kills. You can see he got the most kills this time. I felt like Amrook was just setting him up for the kills. I was getting him down.
Do you have it up on the Twitch?
Yeah, I don't see it on
Oh,
Twitch.
did
Yeah.
not. You got to click the transition button. Like I had it up on the left, but I didn't click the transition. You know what I
There it
like to
is.
do? I like to head over to my laptop. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. So as I was saying before I messed up, Emmerich feels like he's bringing him down to like a couple hit points, and Griswold's just can't help himself. Is just finishing him off. And Rusty and I were just talking about this. Like Reed does that too occasionally, but I think
Uh-huh.
Reed has an ulterior motive. Reed secretly wants Griswold to like go against his deity. And I think that's why Reed purposely sets him up for kills.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't personally do that. It was just luck of the draw. And possibly a little confidence booster for Grizz after he was attacked by Siddle and Reed, or felt attacked by Siddle and Reed, but refused to listen to anything they actually had to say. I can't put it
Yeah,
any
pretty
better.
much.
Am I
Pretty
right?
much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I do want to point out, so we do have the episode here, and with that, that automatically filters the encounters that were in that episode. I love that. Like,
Yeah.
especially when I go to this like all encounters, and I can't remember like, okay, who'd we fight that episode, and then I can go ahead
Yeah.
and select it, and it'll come up with the actual encounter. In this case, of course, it would be Celesticals, and I can then narrow it down. Okay, as we fought the lizard, the croc paper lizards, because we had a crocodile fighting lizards. Enough said. We did 80 points of damage to lizards.
That's probably about right, right?
That just sounds funny. Like I cannot get over that. We did 80
I
points
mean,
of damage to lizards.
there was 5 of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, still, I don't know why it's
Yeah.
funny in my mind that they're lizards and it took us that much damage. And meanwhile, last session I was like, we did 180 points or 170 points of damage to a dragon.
Yeah.
uh, and then we
Um,
also did
plus,
100 points
plus,
of damage to the Eder
I wonder
Castle.
how much. I wonder how much of it's overkill too.
Yeah, probably a couple of those last hits. I mean, nobody
Yeah.
cast Divine Smite to last hit anything when it was within a couple hit points this time.
Yeah.
But sneak attack damage, stuff like that, definitely puts into that overkill category.
Well, if I remember right, I think one of Ryan's kills was had opportunity for sneak attack, but I think he forwent his sneak attack.
Yeah, you know what? I wrote that down and I skipped it. So I talked to him a little bit about it after the session, and he feels like it's a little OP. In my opinion, I say throw it out there. You know what I mean? And the DM will handle it from there. But you never want to put yourself in a position where you're holding back damage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, maybe that's the way Reed sees it. So I didn't
Yeah.
get too involved. Um, So yeah, the stats for there. I'm gonna go ahead and select all now, and that doesn't seem to be updating. Is this? Oh, I must have clicked that. Yep,
Hit the eraser. Yeah, you go. You got to hit
yep,
the eraser on. Yeah.
yep. Just gotta unfilter, and then you can see the kills. I was actually gonna go to the kills as well as the damage overview because we had just talked about Siddle. You are right here in purple. 3 KOs for you. Warwick's
Mm-hmm.
here along with Frank, and then our NPCs. I don't know. They just must get hurt a lot. We must not protect our
Well,
NPCs.
They can
those.
handle themselves.
Yeah, those
You
were
know what?
all those animals that Adrin cast with the red dragon, with Arid,
Yeah, that's exactly what they were.
for sure. Nonetheless, it's still
And
fun.
the horses too, I suppose.
You know what? I don't think I took account for the horses.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I don't think so either,
Yeah.
because that should be 10 then.
Gotcha.
And then if we could look at overall kills for, Reed's still at the top with 12, Siddle with 10, and then, myself and Grizz falling pretty far behind at 7. But before the session, Grizz did only have 5. I want to point that out.
Mhm.
If we look at the damage overview, no surprise, Amrook's still in the lead. No worries, guys. And then, it's pretty much the same pattern. I'm just waiting for that one fireball that kills
Mhm.
like 13 creatures at a time. The Mordai fireball, so to
Yeah,
speak.
exactly.
Yeah.
Where
And does like 130 points of damage and just pushes you
Yeah.
up there.
mm-hmm.
I'm also curious how many times Reed has not used sneak attack that is not calculated in here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then if we look at the spell progression, of course, Fireball is number 1 damage dealing, followed by Chromatic Orb, which I didn't realize until 2 sessions ago, and G and I talked about. You actually have to have a diamond worth 50 gold on you, and it does not consume the diamond, but you have to have it to cast. So it's kind of one of those, you put the diamond in your hand, all you can to style, and then you cast Chromatic Orb. In my mind,
Mm-hmm.
that's how it goes anyway. Um, and I think we jump into the individual stats because I want to highlight that, and then we'll jump into the buffs. So I'm going to use let's use Grizz first to highlight the dodge percentage first because I blows my mind. You know, I know he has what like a 20 or 21 AC, but like it blows my mind. He's got a 64% dodge rate. So if we look at that, like 67 times attacked, 24 or 43 of them have missed. That's crazy to me.
Hmm.
And his hit percentage is still up there. So like when he's actually in combat, it's awesome. Even his damage per hit is still pretty high. Or sorry, his damage per hit over here, but his damage for being hit is pretty high as well. So I mean, he's only been hit what 24 times, but at 18 points a clip. So I feel like he is frontlining on some of the heavier damage, and then staying back on some of the lighter fights. And I don't know if that's just tactically or what, but just I thought that was interesting with the new dodge percentage. Let's jump over to Siddle as well because I think just for comparison, Siddle's in the background. He doesn't even get attacked too much. But still only a 43% dodge rate, as opposed to
Hmm.
Grizz, who is in the front most of the time, and
Now,
has
if
a
you looked at,
64.
oh,
However,
sorry,
the damage per hit is enormous.
For
yeah.
sure, for sure. The damage per hit, damage taken per hit, is almost 30, which is pretty substantial, I would say. So, what's your max HP? Like 42, right?
42, yeah. So I on average take half my HP hit points worth of damage in every encounter. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we even have, thanks to E again, the damage per encounter. Yeah, exactly. I don't think I mentioned that on Grizz's. Yeah, his damage is about half as well per encounter. Because I want to say his is somewhere around 74ish, and that would be half. Yep. Oop. And let's look at Adrin. Adrin, you're only at 35%. I mean, I think you have a 16 AC, right? So you're about the
Yeah.
same as Amrook. You do sit a little farther back, but like I said, I do expect you to be up a little bit more, having one level a
Yeah.
monk. Yeah. And I think that your HP is only like 42 as well, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, my HP is not very high.
Yeah. So I don't know. So would you say upping your AC is the only way to increase that dodge percentage, or what? Well, the main way, I guess. I guess there are other ways, especially for like monks and certain class features and stuff like that, because you can take, or you could have, what is that? Deflect missiles as well as patient defense and stuff like that.
Patient defense, yeah. Take him to dodge action. You don't do anything. You just dodge. Uh, that's a way, I guess.
Yeah, but I feel like for at least most of us, like we kind of
Yeah.
need to take that action to
Yeah.
do damage. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Exactly. Unless you have like some kind of a bonus action that you could do
Yeah.
that. But yeah, AC is pretty much the only way you can really get that up.
And I just want to throw somebody not in here just to see. So Warwick, even though he's only been with us since Grudhog, like still, takes not quite as big of a wallop, but seems to be more of a bigger hit than Griswold at times. So
Mhm.
because his HP is not up there too far, and he's 43% dodge. So that's
Yeah.
interesting just to see those, be able to look at those. And I like this. You put number of times unconscious on this card as well. So I really like this. I like to just go through the stats and kind of see, okay, what am I doing? What aren't I doing? What has been cast? What hasn't? That type of stuff. So it would be useful for Siddle to be able to click on his spells versus abilities to be able to narrow that down and see the
Mm-hmm.
damage. Like, I think that's pretty cool. But
Yeah, do chromatic orb. Yeah, I'm curious. So he's
Uh, so 57 hit
yeah,
percentage with chromatic orb.
yeah, doing about
75%, yeah.
20, doing
Firebolt
about 22
50-50.
per clip.
Fireball 80% hit rate. So magic missile should be 100. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Mel's
Yeah.
meteor. I think that's a
Oh, the only reason
saving throw.
Fireball is not a 100% hit rate? Or I
because
guess, how do you
I take an effect whether or not they
take full or half?
made the save. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. I
yeah.
was thinking, too, of the time I played Battleship with the Onis.
Oh.
Yeah, something
hmm
I looked at like this. I don't think you've cast web from your staff in a while either.
No, I haven't. I don't use that all that often. I probably should use it more. But I think the only time I've really used that since we were uh, recording is probably
Groundhog.
Grudhog, exactly. Yeah, when I did it in that doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I just like to go in here and just like look at those type of things to see what hits, what doesn't, what should I keep doing, what should I stop. And I know it's like luck of the dice, but over
Mhm.
enough time, again, I just feel like it definitely will flush out the stats and you'll be able to see what's my highest hitter, what should I keep
Hmm.
using, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
if you look at it strategically, what is hitting what creatures, and then you can kind of look into that and define your scenarios for each spell, because I think that's important too. And we talked about
Yeah.
this a little bit, and I think we'll talk about it with the buffs and stuff. Certain spells are better to cast in certain scenarios, right? The fireball, obviously, whenever you're going to attack AoE, whenever you're going to hit a
Hmm.
group all at once. So you know that scenario right off the top of your head. But other spells like chromatic orb, I think are more situational, as well as especially support spells. And we talk about this with bless. When should you use bless? When shouldn't you use bless? When should you use your other spells instead of bless, because it is a concentration spell, right? So
Mhm.
like if you're Adrin, I don't think you can cast bless, but if you could, you would have to decide, do I want to cast healing spirit, or do I want to cast bless?
Right.
And you know what I mean? So that's just one of those things you have to keep in mind. And again, everything's situational. You have to look at the turn order. You have to look at what we're fighting, how many of what we're fighting, all of that stuff, right? Um,
Exactly.
yeah, so I definitely go to this last page as well and just kind of define those scenarios and kind of look through the spells that are cast, because I can't cast any spells anyway. I'm jumping in there and I'm fighting for my life.
Hmm.
But you guys in the back, like, you're kind of the support for me to be able to do that. Adrin's either healing me, or I mean, sometimes there's some AoE spells that are helping to funnel stuff like web and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And so you know it's just one of those things where you define the scenarios and kind of formulate those plans in your head. But I really like this. And gosh darn it, Evan, look at this right here. I'm going to put it up on the screen. 76 extra damage from you casting bless. So
Shit.
it does not, like, you don't feel the effects that you feel like you are doing damage, but it's caused other people to do 76 extra damage, which is crazy to me. Like, that spell is amazing. And 5 times that it's either deflected or helped dodge attacks, right? So
Yeah.
Hmm.
you do it on saving throws. So whenever that dragon comes out, you get a D4 added to your dexterity saving throw because you're blessed. So, like, that was perfect scenario for bless. If you're thinking about scenarios, we have one creature we are all fighting, cast bless. It's also got a high AC, so our chances to hit go up, which are in turn going to do more damage. Our
Yep.
saves, because you know that creature is going to eventually cast their breath weapon, which is a saving throw. So immediately you're thinking, bless is the spell I'm going to use this time, and then you know what, maybe I can't cast command or compel duel because it's concentration, but that's the way it goes.
Which did he cast? Did he cast Blessed when we fought the Green Dragon? I don't think he did he?
No,
I don't think
because
he did. Yeah.
honestly, a lot of us were like 16s and
Tapped out.
17s, and we were
Yeah.
one
tapped
more point to our attack would have hit.
Mhm.
Especially like Althea and stuff. Like she was right there
Yeah.
on it, and
Right.
I know I posed this scenario before, and it's more for once we get to the giants. But imagine whoever ends up with the giant slayer. Imagine that person with haste, so they get an
Hmm.
additional attack, as well as bless, so that both attacks actually hit. I mean, could do
Yeah.
some crazy amounts of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Evan, 76 points of damage is nothing. That's basically some cave salamanders. So, I think he's overreacting. I wouldn't use Blood very often.
You know what? The other one I really like is Bane. I, I
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a bard could cast it.
I think so too.
Yeah, so our bard could pick it up, but I really like it. It's not as good as bless, but I think it's one of those underrated spells because it's basically the reverse of bless for the enemy, right? You're putting it
Yeah.
on one
Yeah.
creature instead of
Right.
three, and it's going to reduce their chance to attack or chance to save.
But
So
they
it,
get a saving. They get a saving throw uh to combat that effect.
yeah,
That's the only thing. Where Bless is automatic until you fail a concentration check.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But I still think it's pretty underrated. You think of creatures, like you think of a creature who does have that +8 to attack or +9 to attack, and you're reducing it possibly by 4.
Yeah. By
That's
4. Yeah.
pretty
That's big.
impactful.
Big.
Yeah, and it has
Yeah.
a multi attack, so you're doing that to each one.
Mhm.
I feel like that's pretty
I
impactful.
mean, the best combo is if you have one caster that's able to cast Bless and another caster that's able to cast Bane, going up a
Yeah,
big baddie. Yeah, that's
Oh, there you
that's
go.
yeah,
yeah. So just
that's
working
the
out these
sauce.
scenarios in our heads as we go through these buffs, but I like it. I think maybe we should invest in the campfire chat a little bit to throw some of those scenarios out there and see what people would do in certain situations and stuff. I think that would be kind of cool chat. But
Mhm.
other than that, I think that's it for Echo Chamber tonight, unless you guys have anything to add.
No, I don't think
No, I
so.
think that's about all I got.
I said short session, and we still almost made it till 9. We just can't
I
help
was
it.
to say it's still almost an hour long.
Right, yeah. But thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you this weekend.
Later.